to Life Groups. I'm Marty Holden, pastor of Fellowship Church, and welcome to another edition of Talk It Out. I hope you're having a great time together. In the last few weeks at Sunday mornings at Fellowship, and for the next few weeks, we're going through our purpose statement as a church. Fellowship Church exists to lead people, to connect, and lead people into a growing relationship with Jesus Christ. And so, in the last Sunday, we talked about a growing relationship. What do you think a growing relationship with Jesus Christ is? I mean, that's a great discussion in and of itself. But one of the examples I used was the example of the man in the Iron Mask. One of my favorite movies. I really like the movie. Well, it was about this young boy, a young man really, who sometime in his life had a mask, a huge iron mask placed over his head so no one would be able to see his face. And they put it on there, and he was basically imprisoned with this mask on his head. So he went around in life really not knowing why this was happening to him, but he didn't have the freedom that he had before the Iron Mask. Eventually, the three musketeers come and save the day. And I'm not talking about the chocolate. The three musketeers come, and they're older at this point. They come in and they set him free. And the interesting thing is, he doesn't know how to live his life at this point. He doesn't know how to act like an adult. He just knows what he knew beforehand. Because for the last several years, he really had been imprisoned with this mask. And he couldn't move around. And so, for the next segment of the movie, he's taught how to live in freedom. Now, the great thing about Galatians chapter 5, which was the passage we looked at, verses 1 through 14, in fact, I encourage you tonight to read through it as a life group. But the great thing about it is Paul says, you know what, there's a difference. Christ has set us free. But then he goes into this other part where he says, but also, you need to continue to live in freedom. You need to continue to live in freedom. Now, what is freedom? Freedom, I believe, is moving towards God's purposes. There's a lot of things you could do. There's a lot of things. Freedom, though, is moving towards God's bigger purposes for your life. One of our 4 points of small groups, of life groups, is transformation. That you would be more transformed to be like Christ. Not just set free, but then to continue to live in freedom. And remember, freedom is moving towards what? God's purposes. That's correct. Alright, so today let's discuss a few things. First of all, what are some of the main obstacles keeping you from moving towards His purposes for your life? Or, said in another way, what are some of the main obstacles keeping you from living in freedom? And then secondly, the question I'd like us to ask one another, how can our small group be more effective in helping one another towards a growing relationship with Jesus Christ? Now, try to stay away from kind of the closed-in answers. We can pray together more. That may be true, but I'd like us to open up a little bit, to really begin to ask some of the hard questions about your group. Is it doing what it's intended? Is your group moving and growing? Are you helping one another grow to act and walk the way Christ wants us as followers of Him to act and walk? Alright, so I hope you enjoy this discussion. You'll talk it out, and together as a church we'll help to connect and lead one another into a growing relationship with the Son of God, Jesus Christ.